Hey, hi, howdy, hello. Sorry about that. My phone overheated, basically. I can only do those kind of streams um for short periods of time, and I'm surprised it lasted as long as it did, quite frankly. My phone wasn't charging for some reason. It won't charge while I'm live streaming because live streaming sucks up so much of my battery. Hmm. My phone died, basically. Like it overheated and died. So, let's watch some shit. These are just fucking awful. We're gonna watch some courtroom drama because we want to. Let me turn off the speaker first.
Okay, so today's date scheduled for sentencing in this matter. This was adjourned on April 28th. And, counsel?
Yes, just so the court's aware, Your Honor, Mr. Allen did renew his, medical marijuana card he brought with him. But the motion is, well, the first motion would be, Mr. Allen would respectfully request the opportunity to withdraw his plea, based on, what I believe to be the perception of my ineffectiveness in representing him during the plea negotiations and his acceptance of the plea. He's, without breaking attorney-client privilege. He doesn't believe that I properly advised him. So the first motion would be to allow Mr. Allen the opportunity to withdraw his plea in the interest of justice if he so chooses. All the witnesses are police witnesses and all the evidence is captured on body cam and video. So I don't think the prosecution would prejudice. The second motion.
Well, hold on, before we move to the second motion, I'm not going to even consider an oral motion to withdraw a plea. That all has to be done in writing,
To
so that the
withdraw.
prosecutor has an opportunity to respond.
Understood, Your Honor.
Because this plea was taken on March 12th, so now we're over 2 months ago, and I need to be able to review the motion to determine whether or not that is something this court would grant. And counsel, your next motion.
The second motion, Your Honor, would be, since there has been a breakdown in the attorney-client relationship, I would respectfully move to withdraw from the case so Mr. Allen could either secure new counsel or request court-appointed counsel so that they could properly file the motion. I don't know if they want to file against their hearing or anything, or if the prosecution would be in opposition to it.
Okay, and so counsel, when did this all come about?
Well,
Did it just come about this morning?
we have been discussing it for a few weeks, and this morning it just came to a head that I can't effectively represent Mr. Allen anymore in line with what he believes to be his best interests as opposed to my conflict with what's happening here.
Okay.
I was retained, and I'm candid with the tribunal, I was retained by a third party who did give me $2,000 to represent Mr. Allen. I proposed that I refund half of that to Mr. Allen at a minimum so that he could.
You refund that to Mr. Allen instead of back to the third party?
To the third party, but basically if they wanted to help him again, I can't in good conscience or refund all of the retainer. I've been down here several times and put quite a bit into this matter so far. So I will be refunding $1,000 to that individual.
Okay, so my question is, counsel, if this was something that was a possibility, why there wasn't a written motion filed before this morning?
I literally believed everything was fine when I was informed of the medical marijuana card, and that there was just the cold feet issues that some of my clients have, and until they give me like clear, unequivocal, I couldn't interpret. I didn't know, you didn't tell me I want to withdraw my plea in any other light than, okay, you're telling me you believe I was ineffective at this point, and what my thoughts aren't in line with what his beliefs were during these last few weeks. So I do apologize. You're correct that if I knew, I should have filed a written motion, but we discussed it. I said I could withdraw as your attorney, you could find someone else and things like that without getting into the nitty gritty of it. But it was my belief that the representation was still intact and we were on the same page. And I apologize for interrupting the proceedings earlier. That's when it basically clicked that this is something that I need to bring forth and make these requests.
I do actually agree with this attorney. Giving back half the money to his client is the right thing to do. However, he's offering his money back due to the complete ignorance of his client, because that idiot is a repeat offender and should have known that the minimum and maximum sentencing guidelines don't include probation. Probation can be offered by the court in lieu of other punishments. Not to mention, probation is an option, and the other option is that his client could just do his jail time.
Mr. Allen, you have been to court a number of times with Mr. Awada, correct?
Yes.
And you've had opportunity to speak to Mr. Awada on a number of occasions, correct?
Yes.
And you also have had the opportunity to review discovery with Mr.
I think I'll play that one now. Hold on. I'm gonna play a video Classic sent me. Because I forgot to play it the other night. It's a pretty good one. So we're gonna watch that with Classic. While I have the hiccups.
pictures of my items. You can do that from somewhere other than this property.
This guy and his girlfriend are having a yard sale, but then the cops show up and accuse them of being shoplifters because they saw multiple numbers of different items laid out for sale. Despite being asked multiple times to leave, the police officers refuse to leave.
I've asked you to leave. I would like for you to leave.
And they stand there on the porch to harass and intimidate and to scare away potential purchasers from looking at the yard sale.
This is harassment. I've asked you to leave, and now you're impeding me from being able to sell the items. There's a man with a gun on my porch. Am I detained?
You are.
I'm detained for what reason?
For investigation.
I've not committed a crime. I know I've not committed a crime.
That's what everybody that commits a crime says.
Can a police officer just stand there on your porch and demand that you answer his questions if he does not have a warrant?
I'm just asking simple questions, but you refuse to answer my question.
Issue coupons, she should have, most couponers keep pretty good records. I mean, does she have receipts?
What about if it's your girlfriend's house and she's not there? All police officers, especially supervisors, should know the answers to those questions, and you should also.
You have a supervisor coming.
I've already advised you. I am the supervisor.
The level of ignorance here is astounding. I don't think I've ever done this before, but I actually emailed this sheriff's department and asked them if there was any additional context to this that they could provide. What have I heard back so far? Crickets. Welcome back to the Civil Rights Lawyer channel, where my mission is to help protect and defend your constitutional rights, both through legal education and also showing you all of the crazy things that your government does to people just like you. So if you share in that mission, please subscribe, like, comment, and share this footage so that maybe it doesn't happen again. This video brings us to Bowling Green, Kentucky. That's Warren County, Kentucky. And it involves the Warren County Sheriff's Office and also the Bowling Green Police Department. But primarily, this involves a patrol supervisor named Sergeant Mark Hines. I'm not sure how you pronounce it. Sounds
Bowling Green. Bowling Green is trash. I know some people from Bowling Green, and that place is just fucking garbage, dude. And from what I understand, their justice system is just fucking non-existent. Yeah. Like, I've been through there. It's not a place I would stop. I'll put it that way. Not a place I would vacation. Not a place I would take my family to. Just not a good place.
like Hines, but it's spelled this way on his card.
Also, I would like to note that I have seen this particular police officer in multiple videos. And in every single one of those videos this particular officer is in, he is acting inappropriately. He is not following the book of the law. He is not acting appropriately. He is being combative. He is being belligerent. He is being antagonistic, unprofessional. Like, he's not a good police officer, in my opinion, because he's been in so many videos being belligerent and antagonistic. Yes, I have never seen this man act professionally appropriate, as per his job title. I have only seen this man be belligerent and unprofessional. I do not like Hines. I do not like, or Haynes, or whatever the fuck his name is. He's not a good dude. And like I said, every video I've seen of him, he's been extremely inappropriate. Also, the lion picture I just finished is up for sale. I will let that one go for roughly 25 bucks. If you would like any of the other photos, let me know. And just as a side note, any of the pictures I sell, I will also include a picture frame appropriate for the picture. I have a fuck ton of picture frames I need to get rid of. So if you buy a picture, it will come with a picture frame going forward. I know I've sold quite a few of them. So just know if you are a repeat buyer, from now on, I will be including a picture frame. It will either be handmade by me or an antique, because I need to get rid of these fucking picture frames. So, just know going forward, if you buy a picture, you're gonna be you won't need to buy a picture frame. I will include it. So you're getting the picture and a frame for like 25-30 bucks. Which isn't bad. I've got some pretty amazing pieces I've done. Some of them are done in metallics. Some of them are done in glow in the dark. Some of them are done just with fluorescent colors. Most of them, if you put them under a black light, there's a hidden message. There's a hidden picture under the picture in most of mine. All you need is a black light. Just say it. So, if you would like some art by Panda, let me know. Also, will going forward be putting Lilo and Stitch stickers on each piece. Doesn't matter what theme it is, the Lilo and Stitch is a family thing for us. And it has sentimental value for my family. So that will be like a signature, you know it came from me thing when you see a Lilo and Stitch sticker kind of hidden or in plain sight on a picture. So they are cute. And you never know which one you're gonna get. It could be a collect them all kind of thing. On the scary piranhas eating the woman picture, I put like a coconut drink and said hug it out. You have to kind of read between the lines because it looks like she's wearing a t-shirt that says hug it out, and there's like two piranhas coming at her face, getting ready to quote unquote hug it out. And in her hand, I put one of those little coconut tiki drinks. And I've also put like diamond art bracelets around the skeleton's wrists. Give them some bling. I add a lot of character to the pictures that I do, by the way. there's a lot of hidden eggs in my pictures because I will add shit to it that wasn't intended to be there. And you've got to figure out what that is. That's why people buy my pictures, because there's always little Easter eggs in my picture that didn't come with a picture. Yeah, right? Hey, Kiwi. So I'm going to finish this Lily picture that is not for sale because the Lily picture is actually already sold. So you can't have that one. That one's already going to ship out Wednesday. So that one's not up for grabs. But the lion one and the girl getting eaten by piranhas one, and the witch burning in the fire one, and the fairy in the woods one, the fairy in the forest, that one's still up for grabs. The Japanese urban legend is still up for grabs. I have 2 Japanese urban legends. I also have a Wendigo Skinwalker picture up for grabs. And the 40K Warhammer Battle Angel that I posted earlier is up for grabs. The werewolf one is no longer for sale. It sold a couple of days ago. I think the ones I've listed are the only ones I've got left. That's funny, Kiwi. I'll be right back.
The video begins with him on the front porch of this private residence where there is a yard sale going on in the front yard. The video was submitted to me by the guy who filmed it. His name is Anthony. The home belongs to his girlfriend, but this is where he's staying. And his girlfriend had just left to go to the bank, and she's coming right back. In the meantime, the cops show up and they start looking at the stuff in the front yard, and they find the items suspicious. Anthony's girlfriend is a couponer. She will resell those items at her yard sales and also will give them out to needy members of the neighborhood. This police officer walks up and immediately begins asking questions and making accusations about shoplifting.
So what's your name and badge number?
My name is Sergeant Hines with Warren County Sheriff's Office, 415.
Thank you. I'm now recording this interaction because this was a consensual conversation where you walked upon me and decided that because I won't give you my ID, that you're going to say that I'm shoplifting. I've asked you to leave. I said that I do not want to continue this consensual conversation. You refused. Said I don't get to dictate when you leave. And that's fine.
You didn't actually ask me.
Yes, I did.
What?
I asked to end this conversation. I am asking you to leave. I wanted to end this conversation. Okay, well, I've given you the information I have. Unless you can speak to the items out there in the grass, I don't know what else you can do to investigate. I've explained that my girlfriend coupons to you. I've explained that this is the result of that. I don't know what else that you want. She shops all over. No answer I give you is gonna make you think, oh, what I thought when I walked up is not the case, because you predetermined the notion of what you were going to come upon when you saw this yard sale.
Determine anything. That's why we investigate.
But you have no reasonable articulable suspicion that shoplifting occurred ever.
I've already provided that reasonable, articulable.
Which is what?
Multiples and
So it's illegal to own multiples of items and then sell those items. So the people who are at the flea market who have multiples of items and are selling items should all be put under suspicion for committing shoplifting.
I just came here to have a simple conversation.
And I told you my name's Tony.
Your
I told-
obstruction of that is.
There's no obstruction. Obstruction is a physical act. I'm not obstructing you. I do not have to help in your investigation. That is not my job. That is your job. You're required to do your investigation. I'm not required to say anything to you under the Fifth Amendment. You have a supervisor coming?
I've already advised you. I am the supervisor.
Okay, I wanted your supervisor. Isn't that your policy to try to contact your supervisor? Okay. Do you have a card?
I believe I have one.
Can I have one? Yeah, please. So that when I file a complaint with your department, I know exactly who I'm filing it on. This is harassment. I've asked you to leave. I've asked you to leave. I would like for you to leave. You have no reason to be here. I've explained to you how we have come upon these items.
I was asked to be here, so I do have a reason to be here.
Okay, you can investigate somewhere else.
No.
There's nothing else for you to investigate here.
This is where it's occurring. This is
Okay,
why-
I understand that, but I've asked you to leave. You have no right to be here. I don't want to give you a hard time, but you're coming up here on baseless accusations.
You started with giving me a hard time. That's where we started.
No, I didn't. I just told you I wasn't going to give you my ID because I don't have to. Is that not true? Are we a stop and ID state? And now you're impeding me from being able to sell the items because people aren't going to stop when there's a sheriff standing on the porch.
Why would they not stop?
Because it looks like there's something intimidating or scary going on here. There's a man with a gun on my porch standing over top of me.
Because I go to stores and people don't leave the store.
People aren't going to be deterred from a store. They're going to think that I'm some type of criminal when there's no criminal act going on here.
Well, I don't believe that.
You have no reasonable articulable suspicion. Having multiples of an item is not a crime. Selling multiples of an item is not a crime. You have nothing to suggest that any of this was stolen. Do you have me on video walking out of a store with all of these items without paying?
Potentially.
You don't. I can guarantee you 1,000% you don't.
Okay. What about your girlfriend?
I can guarantee 1,000% that she is not on camera stealing anything ever in her life. And the fact that you can continue to sit here and act like this is ridiculous. You're trying to be quiet now that I have you on camera, but I want you to understand that I would like for you to leave. You have no reason to be here. I've asked you to end this consensual conversation and you refuse on no basis. I'm gonna FOIA request that. Name and badge number, sir.
Alex Bigford, 486.
Thank you. You have a card?
Yep.
I'm just watching.
I've asked you to leave several times. Now you're walking through my yard, taking pictures of my items. You can do that from somewhere other than this property. This makes no sense. You walked up on this property. This was a consensual conversation. You're trying to say selling multiples of items is somehow shoplifting. It is not. My girlfriend coupons, I explained that to you. You're continuing to push this because of some ego trip that you have because I wouldn't give you my ID. So are you going to come back and apologize when you find out you're wrong? Are you? Will you come back and apologize if you find out with what you're doing right now is completely wrong?
I don't know where I'm just.
I understand that. I asked for his supervisor. I know. I want his supervisor because what he's doing is completely baseless. He has no right to just walk up and assume that all this is shoplifting.
I'm Officer Williams, badges 171.
And your name, ma'am?
Officer Bryant,
And badge number?
155.
Okay. And do you have cards? Can I have one, please? I'd like to know who I'm complaining on whenever I go to the police department. All right, that's great. Thank you. I don't have an issue with y'all doing your job, but now I think it's going a little too far. There's 4 officers with a man sitting down in a
Well,
chair.
so she's on return to duty, so we're considered one because I'm training her.
Okay, I understand that, but there are 4 people with weapons standing in front of me, correct? For what?
We're investigating a
Okay,
crime. You
okay.
were requested to assist with an officer that was
Okay,
conducting
but my
an
question
investigation.
is, what reasonable articulable suspicion do you have that these items?
Requested to assist another agency, so that's what we're here doing.
So nobody can give me any answers on why you reasonably believe these items are stolen.
Like I said, this is the first time I've met you. I don't know all the details.
I
That's
explained to
what we're
him.
getting from
I
my-
explained to him that my girlfriend coupons,
Okay.
and that we come by these lawfully.
Okay.
She does this for a living, for the purpose of selling these. We have these sales years and years and years in a row, and not once has anybody ever come up to us and suspected us. We've had cops stop and shop here. We've had no issues. I just don't understand how somehow this is now a crime.
I don't know. I was just asking simple questions and you immediately.
No,
became-
but I don't want to give you my ID because there's no crime. There's no crime being committed.
Well, we call that a clue.
You call it what you want. It's me exercising my rights. I don't have to ID. We're not a stop and ID state.
I was just asking simple questions, but you refused to answer my question.
I told you that your coupons, that wasn't sufficient for you because you believe that the stuff is stolen. So there's no way for me to convince you that it's not.
Not the way you've been speaking to me now.
Well,
If she coupons, she should have. Most couponers keep pretty good records. I mean, does she have receipts for all
I'm
this?
sure she has tons of
I mean,
receipts,
that-
either
that
in
would
her
be-
purse or in the house.
I say because you said there's no way to prove it.
She does
has receipts for all
Ibotta.
this.
She does Ibotta. She does the other little thing that gives you stuff for your receipts. Yes.
It would be a very simple request for me to walk up and ask to see the receipts. Would you be willing to do that?
You could ask that,
Would you be willing?
but unless you can prove that there was a crime committed, there would be no reason for me to have to. Now, she may voluntarily do it when she gets back.
She's on her way though.
I don't know where she's at. But I don't have to give you my ID just because you asked for it. That's not how the law works. If maybe you had asked, what was going on, and then when I told you,
I was
you
very-
stopped and waited in your car and you come back over here and you waited to speak to her when she arrived, then maybe
I don't know.
this wouldn't have
I don't know
escalated to where it's at,
she's
but
not here.
she's not.
How would I know that from across the street?
When the car pulls in the driveway, you would see.
Well, how would I know who's selling it? I don't know. That's why we investigate.
You don't know, and you don't know that there's a crime. I really would like for you all to leave.
Well, that's what investigation is for. I've not accused you of anything. I'm just
Yes, you have. You said the items are potentially stolen with no basis. None
They could be.
whatsoever.
I don't know. That's why we.
Do you have a video of anybody stealing from any store with any of these items that looks like me?
I don't know yet.
This is unreasonable.
I think it's completely reasonable. based on
I'm
what
unreasonable.
you're
So I'm just going to assume I'm detained. Am I detained?
saying here. You are
I'm detained for what reason?
for investigation.
No. Reasonable articulable suspicion of a crime.
Suspicion of
What-
shoplifting.
Okay. And what evidence do you have to suspect me of
Your
shoplifting?
yard.
My yard. I have stuff in my yard for a yard sale, guys. You know, yard sales are illegal now. That is absolutely insane. It's things like this that make bad relationships.
Full fucking stop. Hey, Reaper. Hey, Reaper. Reaper. I know your raggedy ass is listening. You, you had the nerve. You had the unmitigated gall to come at me motherfucking sideways, bitch. And you did this shit? And you want to come at me, oh, she's not working? Fuck you, bitch. I work 2 jobs. And you slandered the fuck out of me for how long exactly, bitch? How long? And then this is what Okay. We're going there. Remember, Reaper, remember this. Lean in, bitch. Lean all the fucking way in. Like, full lean in. But keep your Jalen ass chin the fuck out of my face. Just lean the fuck in real quick. We go in there, babe. You had the unmitigated gall to and let me explain to you why I'm going to tell you why I'm doing this, because you keep semi questioning it. And here's why, Reaper. The reason, oh, and fucking Horseface, you're not unscathed. I just don't have the patience to go through your nonsense because you're just disgusting. But don't worry, somebody else is working on your video. I'm not having anything to do with that, because if I do your video, you could cry victim. So somebody else is going to do an objective look at the shit you've done to people. As for me, I'm going sideways at Reaper because she took Horseface's fabricated bullshit that even fucking Ray Charles could have seen was fabricated, and she publishes fucking information without vetting it. She spreads misinformation and downright slander, and she took the words of my abuser and further victimized me. That's why I'm doing this. You dragged my fucking family across your nasty, disgusting, decrepit ass screen, and you further victimized my family. That's why the fuck I'm doing this. And why I will never let it go. Do you understand me, bitch? You should have left my kids and my fucking trauma the fuck alone, is what you should have done. But instead, you further victimized someone actively being victimized, and you ridiculed me at a very dark time in my life. So, no, ma'am, you're getting no breaks from me. Spicy Panda incoming, by the way. You want to sit up on your platform and criticize other people for not working when you haven't worked in how many years? I'm not talking about your MLM scams or you scamming your audience. I'm talking about an actual job. Good night, Kiwi. Like an actual job. Like I work to pay my bills. My audience isn't paying my bills. I maybe make $30 a month on my channel. Maybe. And you want to call me a scammer? If I'm a scammer, I'm really bad at it. But this shit really made me fucking mad because you come on this platform and you slander the fuck out of me. And you drag my already traumatized family across your nasty fucking screen, not knowing a damn thing about what you're talking about and not vetting the information you were given. Because had you dared to look at the information you were given, you could have seen obvious editing marks, obvious fucking Photoshop, obvious that it was fake shit. And what bothers me more than that is the fact that I think you knew it was fake. I think you knew it was fabricated and you spread it anyway. And if you want to come back here and say you're sorry, it's too fucking late. 2,000 people already heard that and saw that. And God knows who actually believed the shit you said about me. Which were lies, by the way. Fucking lies. And whoever the fuck is going around claiming that I stole a Purple Heart, you are a fucking idiot. Stop it. You are fucking desperate for people to fucking hate me so bad you have to actually make shit up. And you know what it all came from? It came from me rejecting your fucking ratchet ass 4 fucking years ago when I wouldn't have anything to do with you. You've had a grudge against me ever since. And you've gone behind the scenes fucking slandering the shit out of me to anybody that would listen. You're disgusting. Because I reject you, you have to fucking go full life ruination on me and fucking defame my character. No, fuck you. No, I'm done, and I think that's what you motherfuckers haven't quite got through your fucking empty ass heads yet, is the fact that I am not taking it anymore. I'm not going to sit here and continue to let you lie on me and not say anything. I'm going to correct you. And whoever believes your bullshit can stay over there with you because you're a fucking liar. I don't know who the fuck I would even steal one from. That one floored me, Classic. Exactly, Harry. Only a real piece of shit would slatter fucking innocent kids across their screen because they didn't like their mother. And I don't know why their audience can't seem to get that through their fucking head that if they would do that to me, they'd do it to them. I think so. I don't know. And it literally has nothing to do with my platform. Nor has that ever had anything to do with my platform. Ever. Furthermore, I never fucking said that. Ever. And if they fucking pull something out of their ass, it's fabricated. That shit ain't never come out of my fucking mouth. And I'm talking about my actual mouth, not the AI shit you people pull. Don't think I don't know you're doing that because you've made several clips using AI and making me say shit I never said. They do it to Barb all the fucking time. You need to go, maybe Reaper, had you gone to look at their channels before you quote unquote vetted your information, you could have seen how with Barb, they used AI and made her go through a whole fucking skit of shit that she never said. And you don't think they would have done that to me? Really? Are you that fucking dumb? I don't know why I even asked you that. The question, I mean, I already know the answer to that question. And you couldn't see the clear cut marks where they edited shit. Do you not wonder why literally nobody but you took that shit and actually ran with it? Because literally everyone else took one look at that and said, this is not factual. This has been cropped, chopped, and edited to fucking shit. And this is fucking all out fake. And this is AI. And this is bullshit. That's why, dumbass, they fucking set you up. They did. Good job that you let them set you up to attack an actual DV victim. Not only one, but three. You dragged my entire fucking family across your goddamn screen when we were going through enough. You were a vile, vindictive piece of shit. She did. She fell for it. All because she had a vendetta against me for calling her out for scamming Tammy. And she did. She scammed Tammy. She fucking lied to her. Therefore, that makes that a scam. I hate to break it to you, but when you lie to someone in order to gain something, that's a scam. You lied to Tammy, told her you were stranded in your car with your small child, quote unquote. That small child, quote unquote, was a grown ass man, and that was a full ass lie. How many evictions you got on your record, hon? You know how many I've got? 0. You know why? I pay my fucking bills. And I couldn't pay my fucking bills if I did not work. And newsflash, all of you who did contact the father of my children, we haven't been in an active relationship in 13 years. So you really had no business dragging him into it to begin with. Period. In the last year and a half, I was stuck in a situation trying to save us without going further into detail. You have no idea what I went through. None. Shame on you. Shame on every fucking one of you who had anything to do with that. But okay, I'm done talking. Let's show the receipts. And this is from a really good channel who's been doing a great job of exposing this vile piece of shit. Creeper.
Right? Well, let's take a look at her resume. First up, Long John Silver's.
Of the Long John Silver's that I worked at during lunchtime.
Long John Silver's is true. Up next, Verolo, a basic MLM. The site owner hides his identity. Spammers use this information for their promos, and it's also misused by scammers. Embarrassing. True. Up next, she claimed to have all 3 of these jobs in Romania. First up, a hacker. Surprise, surprise.
I used to hack. Okay, I'm going to be honest with you guys. Back in the early 2000s, I was a hacker. It was me and some of my friends from Romania, and we did eBay hacking. What we did is the main guy in Romania, I'm not going to say his name, he would...
Stand up gal right there, stealing people's credit card information and robbing them and receiving stolen goods and profiting off of it when they were actual victims. Reaper, the people you stole those credit card numbers from actually are victims. You victimized them when you stole their credit card information and fraudulently bought things you didn't earn. That is not a victimless crime. And I don't think there's a statute of limitations on that. And I truly, truly hope somebody turns your ass in for that. You claim you only ever stole some chicken. No, bitch, you just admitted right there where you probably stole thousands and thousands of dollars worth of stolen goods via credit card theft and fraud. And this is the person whose word you trusted over mine. This is the person you believed about me. This is the person you watched drag my entire family across her nasty, decrepit, lying ass screen and said nothing when she did it. Yeah, I'm gonna keep on and on and on and on and on about this because, hello, was it you she did it to? Then no, then shut the fuck up. Because you have no idea how that felt. You have no idea how hard it was to keep my mouth shut and not say anything because I could not say anything. I was dealing with enough. Still dealing with enough. But I'm not going to lay by and just let this bitch slander and defame me. And until those videos come down and I get an apology, I'm not going to drop it. Because it's high time these fucking decrepit, vile fuck waffles are held accountable for their actions. And I'm not talking about deflecting either Horseface or Reaper. I'm actually talking about taking real accountability for the shit you've done. Because until you do, I'm not going to stop. Because I think your audience deserves to know what kind of fucking monsters they are supporting. Criminal, in fact. Criminal monsters. Because the shit you did reached criminal level a couple of times. I am owed a fuck ton of apologies. And I'm not going to stop until people know what you did and hold you accountable for it on the platform that you did it on. If you keep waiting in silence, hoping I go away and I forget about it, I'm not going to. I am owed an apology. As a matter of fact, I'm owed a retraction and vigorous apologies. Countless apologies. Countless. She's worse than Lisa. That's what I'm trying to get people to understand and comprehend, is that both of these bitches, these lying, deceitful, narcissistic bitches, are dangerous with the lies they tell. Dangerous. And they want to come at me sideways? No, ma'am. No. No, no. Neither one of you deserve a platform. Neither one of you deserve to be throwing shade at anybody, given your history and the shit you've done. Neither one of you shady bitches involved in this deserve to talk shit on anyone, because both of you are just as bad, if not worse, than the people you cover. But Horseface is going to sit over there and deflect until the cows come home, because she's never apologized for a goddamn thing. She's never copped to anything. She's never taken accountability for anything, and that in of itself should be a massive red flag, but the idiots who follow her can't seem to comprehend that. She does it right in their face. Then she gaslights the shit out of them into thinking she never did anything and she's just the most innocent thing ever. No, they're starting to see, because I'm starting to get emails on the other one apologizing to me for ever believing a word that fell out of her fucking horseface ass mouth. I think so. Yeah.
Get people's credit card numbers, order things on eBay, have it delivered to myself or 3 other people here in the US, and we would keep what we wanted and sell what we didn't want. And I did that for a long time, and then
Okay, Reaper, why not? Next, she claimed to be an English teacher that made over quadruple the average income, all with no degree or training.
I was an English teacher.
Were you?
For adults. It was an American company. They sold phone cards. You know, those prepaid phone cards from back then? He opened up shop in Romania. And my job, he said, to teach them complete English grammar and remove their accents. Lived very well too. I got a salary of $1,000 a month.
Was not TEFL certified, nor did she hold the bachelor's degree required. She also made the mistake of quoting today's pay versus the.
Weren't you criticizing me for knowing celebrities when I actually did work on the sets of Marvel movies as an extra? And I have the resume to prove it. I worked at the studios in Atlanta, Georgia. I also did some work on the studio set in Birmingham. Unlike you, ma'am, I actually have worked as an extra on set of various productions. Unlike you, I'm actually attractive. So there's that. I don't look like meth version of Jay Leno, so it wasn't actually that hard for me to get a part as an extra. It's also not rocket science to be able to get on set of a production as an extra, especially when you have a friend and your best friend happens to work for Marvel doing their CGI. That's called having a friend in the business. So I was pretty well guaranteed a spot as an extra anytime I fucking wanted it. I had multiple friends in the SCA who work as movie extras, and that's all they do. So adding context actually helps. But because you didn't know what the fuck you were talking about, you couldn't grasp how I could possibly be a movie extra. What's called I have friends. That's what it's called. I have friends that aren't trash. I have friends who actually did something with their life instead of pretending to be married to a criminal. They actually got an education and did something with their life instead of chasing criminals and lying about achievements they never got. Or famous people they never actually met. You don't know Anne Rice. You didn't make out with the fucking musician either. You're delusional.
Anna Rice, and she helped me get a vampire story that I wrote back in college, published at the University of Louisiana. Oh hush! And then I could bite my cat, my fiance, and my son, and we can all just live forever. I'm friends with Anne Rice. Yeah,
Jesus Tara first. Well, everything. If it isn't their trauma, experiences, or content, it's their hard work.
You know what else I did that you didn't? Reaper, I have 2, not 1, count them, 2 published books. I am an author. I wrote 2 books. They published them. I didn't have to pay to publish them. They paid me to publish my books. 2 of them. That's also an achievement you didn't earn that I did.
Always has been the author of Kiki and Friends. You thought because she was a small author from the UK, no one would notice, and you could claim her hard work as your own, since you, in fact, have not been able to hold a job or even work for that matter since 2013, which I can prove. But we'll get to that later.
I mean, I worked for a cat rescue, and I think we had 14 cats at once. We were constantly driving around town, and like South Georgia, that would fix and immunize these cats for free.
Fly. Weirdo. So far, the only one that is possibly true is that you volunteered for a cat rescue. Still no job, but Long John Silver's at 17. An attempt at an MLM and an eBay thief. So, again, Long John Silver's. Only a little more shit to sift through. Reaper also claimed she was going to walk right in and take the bar exam to be a whole ass attorney.
Probation law. I would like to be a probation attorney.
How'd that go, genius? You do realize there are only 4 states, California, Virginia, Washington, and Vermont, all of which you have to be a resident of, that let you take the bar exam.
But no spaghetti. Somebody asked her if she was a whale, if she played a whale. So you wanted to take the bar exam, you were an English teacher, and you studied. What? You want to be you're studying to be a weather girl. Tara, you have some serious delusion. You're fucking crazy.
Which to me sounds like a hobby. But anyway, it lasted a total of 2 streams when she claimed to have gotten hurt by an unseen something or other, at which time her fiancé demanded she stop.
Channel was officially going to be paranormal investigating because I've been in my own coffee shop at some point when I moved to Texas.
Sure, Tara, whatever you say. I hope you reported that to social. I mean, you were literally homeless and couldn't make it more than 2 days at a Starbucks. So Starbucks for 2 days, Long John Silver's, an MLM, and although I call bullshit on the whole hacker thing, that's more of a wish she could, but lacks the intelligence. If she wants to claim the criminality, fuck it. Why not? Thanks again for the laugh on this one, Reaper. Anne Rice, you're pathetic. Speaking of pathetic, how dare you take Mrs. Hepton's hard work and passion to claims to have connects because she worked for the IRS? The way she tells it, you'd think she was an actual IRS agent, and it looks like a dirty one at that, with claims of being able to find out people's personal information for the purpose of exploitation. And one of my favorite, claiming to have actual human friends that still not only work there, but will risk their jobs to get her information to use in internet drama. God, this woman lies. Offering money or asking favors of real IRS agents in violations of federal bribery laws can lead to significant penalties, including fines, imprisonment, and disqualification. Much you debunk your own lies. So, Mrs. IRS agent, or should I say employee in training, which you didn't even make it through. I mean, hell, they didn't even keep you long enough for the sign-on bonus. Yet you got pull for favors, right? How embarrassing. I will be reporting that you're using your measly little time as a trainee for a flex, claiming you can get people's personal information as a favor. Obviously, you won't lose a job.
Ever since I lost my, I was the IRS agent, and when they got in trouble over the fact that people that were mailing in their returns were not receiving returns, I know why they weren't getting those returns. But instead of the IRS taking accountability for their own bullshit, they fired.
Former IRS employee kept his pocket card, which he used to flash at officers after being pulled over. A warrant was issued for his arrest, the probation, and a fine of $5,000. I mean, come on, it's the IRS. You have to be a total moron to fuck with them.
I'm not even going to give her a chance to backpedal out of this one. Plus, I think it's important for her supporters to know where their money is going. Reaper doesn't have a job. YouTube is her job. Unless Social Security has trainee. When she chose to be homeless for her short stay in Texas, imagine having your son live in a car so you can live down the street from your man in prison, and you can't even hold a Starbucks job. Anyways, working just isn't Reaper's thing. Begging is easier. The money she makes off of YouTube goes to that piece of shit murderer that won't marry hers canteen. You lie to your supporters.
I actually just sent him a nice big commissary list. And yeah, everything on his commissary came from my work paycheck, not from donations from YouTube or my YouTube paycheck.
They deserve to know and choose what their money is going to. Like an upgraded mattress, fluffy pillow, TV, MP3 player, radio, tablet, Apple Play, downloads, music, candy, snacks.
Keep them going, baby.
I do know she's full of shit. I know that she's not reporting to anyone.
Yeah, they're looking into it. They're aware of him. Or yeah, they're very aware of it now, and they're on top of it. Has any questions? Like I said, there's some stuff I can't say. When the time comes, I would be able to. Verify if the news is correct. Put me through to an FBI agent.
If you don't care where the money goes, that's fine. But if you're going to her to hear Lisa content and 95% of it is bullshit, then what the fuck are you doing besides making that girl relevant? I don't get the fascination with hating someone so much, but not being able to separate yourself from them. It's kind of crazy that people are going to be actively reporting. So far, it's already pain management, Social Security, and the IRS. The person who is reporting things on someone else. And those are pretty big fucking things to be to say it's not her. But I have never followed Lisa Richard. I have never talked about Lisa Richard unless I had to because it was in reference to something else. I have never asked about her. So if I haven't done all those things, I sure as fuck have never given her money. I'm beginning to think that some of you that were stand by her are just in the pathway for it to happen, because a lot of you are now following Reaper and falling for her bullshit.
Not true. My job, we do that. We deal with all of that with food stamp, Medicaid, all of that stuff. And if we are given word that there's some kind of fraud going on, or that there's been large amounts of money going into their account and they're not reporting it, again, I work for Texas, not Pennsylvania. So for my state, yes, we.
Uh-oh, Reaper. The truth is coming out on you, Reaper. And you said all the shit you had to say about me with all of that in your closet. Look, Mama again. Is a horrible person and thinks that it's okay to have a special needs child and use the R word. I used it a couple of times, grew up, and thought about how that would have made somebody feel. A friend of mine told me it triggered them or triggered bad memories for them from school. And I was like, I don't want my kid to hear me say that word and think it's okay. Because I didn't used to say that word at all. And then I guess I just kept hearing it get said and I repeated it, which is not an excuse at all. I should have never used that word. But I'm grateful to the friend who knew me well enough to know that if I had known the gravity of that word, I'd have never used it. Because I never intentionally hurt anybody. Like and here's where a lot of people get mistaken. Yes, I can get spicy, but I could never intentionally hurt somebody. Even if I hate them, I don't intentionally hurt people. I am blunt and I am brutally honest, but I never do anything with the intent to cause harm. If you knew me, you would know how incredibly gentle I am at heart. But this world and all the cruelty that I have been dealt has made me a little cold. I'm just being honest. And so, I guess what I'm trying to say is I used that word briefly, and a good friend cared enough to talk to me about it, and I cared enough to listen. And I took accountability for it. I said, I didn't think how triggering that word could be. I didn't think it was that big a deal, but it is. That word is really triggering for a lot of people. And you having a special needs kid sitting there saying that you called them that, I may have used that word a handful of times, but you couldn't have made me say that to my kid. There's not a force on earth that could have made me say that to my son, let alone call him that. Yeah, I heard it all my life, but that's not an excuse. So before I tear into this lady, I did take accountability and say, yeah, I used it a handful of times, but I also took accountability for it and apologized vigorously. That's what accountability looks like. It's saying I'm sorry and then making the change of behavior to go with it. It's not just saying I'm sorry, it's your actions proving it. And Gan over here doesn't care. I think what she's doing is trying to instigate a fight with Villain for clicks and views because she knows if she gets into an open like bitch fight that it'll drive views to her channel and people will come over there and it'll boost her in the algorithm. I think that's what she's doing. I think she's trying to build her platform off of a public bitch fight with Villain. She's a fucking fruit basket.
Back to regular scheduled programming. And that's their little, get their little digs in everybody's lives and change this.
That's mine.
This has got to stop. The bullying has got to stop. I think it's a great idea. I think there should be a page where people could feel safe to come and tell their
Well, she's not wrong. Maybe she don't need to be the one heading it. But she's right. It's a bunch of middle-aged women going around bullying people. At least in that respect, I'm not going to argue with her. She's not wrong. I am going to argue with her about picking fights with Villain, but she's not wrong. It's a bunch of middle-aged women going around the internet acting like petulant children, pitching temper tantrums and bullying the other middle-aged women. They're like publicly bitch fighting like children. And it's stupid. Which is 90% of why when I got gigged relentlessly and attacked relentlessly by Horseface and her gaggle of idiots, I didn't respond, and I still refuse to respond to that horse-faced bitch. Because if I do, she gets off on it. So I'm not going to give her the reward of my attention. Because she's fucking cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs and she wants to wear my skin. I'm convinced that Horseface flicks her bean to my live streams. Thinking, oh, Panda, I'm going to make 20 more live streams about this 2 seconds of attention you gave me. I bet she sounds like Mr. Ed when she's doing it too. Wilbur.
I will not invite anybody as a guest unless you have a story that you, unless you're being bullied by these people. It's getting really crazy. You should see the messages I got. And you wonder really crazy. You should see the messages I got. And you wonder why I got mad. And sorry, it's a little dark, guys. My eyes, for some reason, the light has been really bugging my eyes, so. Hello.
Hello, ma'am.
Hi.
I've been following you for.
Yeah, it's
getting like above the point where like people just need to stop.
Yeah, you got. There's got to be absolutely.
My name is Panda. I am exactly that person who stands up to the bullies. Which is exactly why I'm in the situation I'm in today. And if you stop and you think back, every time I have been into an altercation on this platform was because of bullying. I can't stand bullies. I can't. I hate them. And I got as much heat as I got because I stood up to a bunch of fucking barnyard bullies who were not fit to tie my shoes. I refused to let them run over me anymore. I stood up to them and told them to suck my dick. And they didn't like it. I stood up for myself because every time I'd go in their live streams, they would throw shade at me. They would make offhanded remarks. And then on the back end, they'd ask me for money after throwing shade at me. And the minute I quit sending them money is when they launched the attack on me that's gone on for 3 years now. Nearly 4 altogether. I can't stand a bully. And I am that person that if I see an underdog, I'm going to root for the underdog. Because I am the underdog. I have spent my entire life being underestimated and overlooked. I am strong. I am capable. I'm valiant. I am chivalrous. I am kind. I am smart. I am important. And I know these things. And I didn't need them to validate me. I validate me. Unlike these other bitches who are insecure, petty, jealous, vindictive, vile, narcissistic, psychopathic. And I called them out for it. And they didn't like it. So they did everything they could to malign my character. So that when I tried to warn people about them, nobody would believe me. But here's the thing, the truth always comes out in the end. And boy, has this last little escapade they tried backfired on them unbelievably bad. It backfired on them horrifically. And that's the way it usually ends. You do somebody the way they did me for as long as they did, and it will eventually backfire. Right.
We're out to get people's children and everything else, and this.
To the point, Gan, or Gang, whatever your name is. I am that person who people come to when they get bullied. I don't know why, but if you're getting bullied, 9 times out of 10, I will defend you. I am the anti-bully of YouTube. Or one of them. There are a lot of us who do stand up to the bullies, but you, ma'am, have some accountability to be doing before I do any standing up for you, because so far, all I've seen you do is deflect and continue using the word that got you all this heat to begin with. I don't care really about your beef with Villain. None of my business. Villain is a big girl and she doesn't need me to defend her. no offense to Villain if she hears this, but you really don't need me to defend you. You're a big girl. This is not my beef. I don't care about your beef with Villain. Don't care. Not involved. I do care that you continue to use a horrible word and refuse to take accountability for it and the damage you could do with that word. You refuse to take accountability for the impact of that word. And you keep using it. That's my issue with you. My phone died. That was about a 2-3 hour stream, though, to be fair.
This is, you know, this is not
Yeah.
the place for it.
I know, I was in your live earlier before it got yesterday, Matt. Before it got banned.
Yeah.
And stuff. And
Yeah, they've been doing that.
I know it's just getting annoying.
Yeah, it does. And then they report your page and have you taken down and blah blah blah. But you know, whatever. I'm just sick of the bullying. That's all.
Yeah.
Hi, Michaela. Well, people could come and feel safe. Oh my gosh, this guy won't leave me alone. Come up and tell their story.
Grandma, Gan, I get what you're trying to do. I get it. But until you take accountability for the word you keep using, I cannot and will not help you. I'm sorry, but I cannot, in good conscience, stand behind someone who actively uses that word and refuses to take accountability for it. However, if you take accountability for it and you say you're sorry and you proceed with the actions that follow the apology, meaning you stop using that word, then I can be like, hey, quit it. Not that people will listen to me because I'm only one person, but I can support your movement for anti-bullying. I can get behind that. But first, you're going to have to take accountability. Until you do, I'm not going to do that. I'm sorry, but your words carry very little weight when you are still using a very bull triggering word such as you're using, and crying about being bullied is a word you're using and continuing not to take accountability for it. So I cannot get behind your movement until you do those things. Schedule programming.
We're not. You just immediately accused us of stealing. You did.
I didn't.
You did.
I asked you simple questions.
I gave you answers. You weren't happy with those answers.
Answer all my questions.
That was it for me too, Fallen. It was that she not only used the R word, but she made those disgusting hand gestures that went with it. And that's what I could not get behind. I couldn't get behind that. And I get what she's trying to say, but it doesn't carry any weight when she does what she did. I think so too, Fallen. Oh, did Gandalf. We're gonna finish this video and then I'm gonna go to bed.
Told you where the stuff come from.
No,
Told you my
never
first
told me
name.
where anything came from.
It came from stores where they were purchased with
That's not an
coupons.
answer.
It is an answer. There's multiple stores throughout this city. There's multiple locations people can purchase items. These were purchased from all kinds of different stores.
Like where?
Like anywhere from Kroger to Walmart to Dollar General to Family Dollar to CVS to Walgreens. Anywhere that offers coupons that you can get digitally and that you can use manufacturer coupons on. It's couponing works. You find things on sale, you use the coupons, you get them for even cheaper. You're still here trying to perpetuate the idea that this is
You told me
somehow
I was
theft.
to stick with your girlfriend, so now
No,
you're
I said that
playing
now I've asked you to leave. I mean, this is
This is
unlawful
not-
detention.
You told me this
This
is not
is
your home.
this is a unlawful detention.
You told me this is not your home.
Yeah. I have 4 people with guns detaining me for no reason. I don't appreciate it.
Most people don't.
Yeah, especially when there's no right and no reason. You just ask everybody for receipts. You just walk up on everybody and ask them for receipts to their items. When they walk out of a store, you say, "Hey, do you have a receipt for that, or did you just steal that?" It's ridiculous. I know y'all have better things to do than to harass somebody who has done nothing illegal. And you have no reason to believe they've done anything illegal. You're violating my right. If you continue to violate my rights without reasonable articulable suspicion of a crime, litigation that comes afterwards.
So your girlfriend, she coupons? So
Yes.
It's really none of their fucking business. They're literally harassing this man for no good reason. And tell your wife I said good night and love her too. But this is unlawful.
is she here? Or is she
I've already explained to the sheriff she is not here. She went to the bank to get change. You guys have already run off several potential people that were going to stop. You're impeding on my ability to sell any of these items. This is completely unlawful. You can't provide one shred of evidence that there's anything to even suspect us of.
It's called reasonable suspicion.
But it's not. You can't articulate how it's a crime to have multiple things in your
I
yard.
didn't say that.
Okay, it's not a crime then, so you don't have reasonable suspicion. You don't have a video. You don't have a video. You don't have any evidence, anybody saying my name, that I shoplifted, nothing matching my description coming out of a store. Okay, I told you that my name is Tony. I go by Tony. My name's Antonio.
That doesn't help me at all.
My name is Antonio. That's as far as I want to give you. I don't have to ID myself to you. I've not committed a crime. I know I've not committed a crime.
That's what everybody that commits a crime says. So that doesn't really help my investigation.
Okay. You just remember what you're saying and how you're acting. I'll smile for you. Is that what you want?
Been nothing but cordial.
I'll give you a thumbs up and smile for you. I've not committed a crime. I don't have any issue with you all taking pictures of me. I'm glad that you all don't have any issue with me recording you all, because it is my First Amendment right to do so.
I never said a word about it.
I know, and I appreciate that. Thank you for not getting upset about that. Some people do. It's unreasonable.
Right. When it first started, it was different, so people got upset about it.
Well, you know, now people have been more educated and people understand the law more.
Sure.
So how long are you legally allowed to keep me detained? Because it's not infinite.
You're right. But it's long enough to conduct the investigation.
Okay, well, you're not investigating anything. You've taken your pictures, you've investigated. How have you come to a conclusion by taking the pictures you took?
You told me the best person to talk to would be your girlfriend.
Correct. And I also said that you could go back across the street to your vehicle and we could end this unlawful detainment and you can end this consensual conversation, which is what it was from the start, and you could wait for her. Now she's pulling up and you can speak to her. And then after you speak to her and she gives you the same answer that I gave you,
sure.
Is that going to satisfy you?
Maybe. We'll see what she says. I don't like to make a snappy decision.
Come on. No.
Okay. Do you have any questions for us?
Not besides, I would like to know that little lady's name that recorded me, so she can be banned from my cell.
Yeah, unfortunately, we just don't really set up stuff because we don't want that kind of drama or people angry with each other or anything like that. So,
well, it's false reporting. That's a.
Well, it's a suspicion. I think it's fair.
I mean, after 6 years of being here, I mean, police stop and shop here that control this neighborhood. Ice cream truck stops and shops here. You know, I mean, it's like everybody stops to shop here. For 6 years, every summer, ever said anything to me. It just makes me mad that somebody would call and report, and that you have to have this many people out here and scared. Like for the last hour, this yard would have been full of customers. All this yard because some lady wants
to be fair, I was just trying to ask some simple questions, but I couldn't get a simple answer. So it just made it more complicated. It extended the time that we were here because we couldn't get a clear answer.
I told you where the stuff came from. You weren't happy with me telling you that it was from couponing, though. It's the same answer she gave you, except for now you saw the coupons in her window.
Right. Yeah, a little bit of evidence goes a long way.
I mean, you immediately walked on me. I can't go anywhere. I was detained from the moment you walked up. Right, so I can't give you any evidence. I can't show you anything. I can't do anything to help further. I couldn't.
But you refused to. And when you refuse to identify, the courts have held that is legal to.
No, it's not. No, it's not.
Okay, that's all we got. I appreciate you.
Is there an incident number?
No.
All right, first off, what is the biggest problem, the major problem with what these officers are doing here? Where is this sergeant located? He is standing on the front porch of this home. He has been walking around the front yard of this home, taking pictures of these items that he believes are stolen, and standing on the front porch of the home, basically forcibly questioning this individual about where these items came from, what his name is, about his girlfriend, and so on. It can't be disputed that he is within the curtilage of this home. A front porch of a home is always within the curtilage, and almost always any fenced-in yard is going to be within the curtilage of a home. Now, what is the curtilage? That's where the Supreme Court said the area around the home that is so closely associated with our home that it gets the same Fourth Amendment protections as the inside of our home. And that means that if the police are going to intrude into that area, the front porch, the front yard next to the front porch, that's just like going inside your house. And what do they need if they're going to go inside your house and search for evidence? They need a warrant. This is a pretty easy one. There was a U.S. Supreme Court case in 2018, Collins versus Virginia, holding that the police could not even enter the curtilage of a home to search a vehicle that was parked in the driveway within the curtilage of that home without a warrant, even if they had probable cause. Kentucky is within the 6th Federal Circuit. There's a 6th Circuit case also from 2018 that is exactly on point and binding here. Morgan versus Fairfield County, police violate the Fourth Amendment when they physically intrude into a home's curtilage, which is the area immediately surrounding and associated with the home, to search for evidence without a warrant, even where they have reasonable suspicion. So here the police officer keeps saying that he has reasonable suspicion, which he doesn't. He has a hunch, which literally is not reasonable suspicion. That's what they are not allowed to have. But even if he had reasonable suspicion or even probable cause, according to the Supreme Court, it would still violate the Fourth Amendment if he does not have a warrant. Constitutional Law 101. The fact that he's standing on the front porch doesn't matter. Still considered the same as inside the home. A warrant.
Yep. Okay. So I hope you guys this live stream and the other one where we just did Skinwalker stories and colored. I'll be doing another one of those tonight where we color and listen to scary stories. That was fun. I love you guys. You all have a good night.